Hey, so the preseason game number 1 is in the books, and we got a couple of things we need to talk about, given that we've had a few days to let the game digest. So come on, get your snacks, get your popcorn, whatever you need to do, and get in here, and let's discuss this 17-13 win over the San Francisco 49ers after the intro. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bonafide, and this is Section 240, a channel all about the Titans, but from a fan's perspective. So on Saturday, I was locked in my couch, in my seat, ready for fake football. But it's been about 5 months or so since we've seen the Titans play, so I was locked in. And yeah, I know, it's fake football, but there was a lot to like, and there were some concerning things that we saw through the game. So let's just talk about it. So this was a night of first for a lot of people. You know, Brian's first night as the new head coach. Latham, Sweat, the other rookies, their first time in like real NFL game action. So going through the procedure, making it to the locker room, getting dressed out, mental warm up. So it was a lot. And shoot, it was a first for us as fans. And this was the first reveal for a completely overhauled Titans team by Rand and Brian Callahan. And to be honest, I kind of like what I see, man. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like what I see, all right? You know, now, I'm not gonna get into all the breakdowns and you see this kick push and look, bro. There's a whole lot of channels, and I've already given you a whole lot of links about all those people to do this. This is a fan channel. We about to be unrational, okay? Irrational. Is unrational even a word? I don't know, but that's what we're going for right now. So, look, don't expect no hard-hitting things. If I want to send you a link, I'll send you one. But now we got that out of the way. Hey, dog. Hey, we going to the Super Bowl, man. We going to the freaking Super Bowl. I'm just joking. But that's how it felt, man. It's like, I get it. Don't keep hitting me with it. I know it's the preseason. I know it was versus second stringer. I get all of that, man. For real, I do. I do use this thing in my head every once in a while. But we look light years. I'm talking about light years ahead of where we used to be, even at the end of last season. I mean, from the first kickoff, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute, it just looked like a different team, explosive. And you know what I'm saying? Terry McCormick was tweeting through the game, and he said that the first half had ended and we were going into the second half, but shoot, we had already thrown 20 passes. That's right. In the preseason game, we had already thrown 20 passes. Now let me tell you, y'all know what it used to be like. It used to be exotic smash mouth, 3 runs and a punt. That's what you were getting. We didn't get that from the start. We actually saw actual plays, whether or not they were schemed up or not, but we saw actual plays from Will, the first stringers, Calvin Ridley was out there, Spears, Pollard. Like, we saw that on offense. This wasn't just like, hey, I'm just giving you some reps from mental. This was like, hey, you know, this is a game. Get those reps under your belt, you know, right now. Now, Callie said in his press conference after the game that this was basically like a kiss game, or keep it simple, stupid, to this game. So it wasn't a lot of scheming, wasn't a lot of kick and pull. It was basically go do what you normally do on a football field. We'll put some plays out there. We'll see what's going on. And that was good to see. Like I said, you know, this was a first for a lot of the coaches. So even Brian mentioned it, that he was kind of nervous, but you know, Denard, Nick Holtz being in the booth as the OC, you know, Brian calling, you know, being the guy calling the plays. And shoot, Cole Anderson, the special teams coach. We're gonna talk about him in a minute too. But yeah, it's like a lot of firsts for them. So you know, nerves get in the game. They're not immune to it. So, but I was glad to see that they kind of had a plan going in. Now, as far as the offense goes, it looks like it's progressing well. Now, the offensive backfield, Pollard and Spears, they got work. And shoot, they look explosive, you know. And I mean that because we got a video coming up. We're gonna talk about TNT, but that's on down the line. But they got work, and they were doing some things, positive things through the game. Spears, I think he scored on a little short yardage in the red zone that really showcased some of the good blocking up front. Yeah, we still run the ball. I know we got a lot of wide receivers, but we still run the ball. And then Pollard had a really nice long run that kind of set up, I think it set up that field goal that we had there. So running backs look good. We'll talk more about like the third string and second string here in a minute. But Calvin Ridley, that was really the only pass that kind of stood out to me because we had short fields given the penalties and the returns. But Calvin Ridley touched the ball, and man, his elusiveness was on display. I mean, he caught that ball and cut up the field just like you knew he was going to do. It was a big game. It was like maybe 15, 20 yards. But yeah, so for the all accounts and purposes, offense kind of looked good. Now, freaking shout out to Cole Anderson and he's the new special teams coach. Now, we all know about the horrors of Craig Ackerman, but this special teams group underneath Cole Anderson look like they know what they're doing. The blocking looked good. The returners look good. You know, it definitely was vastly improved, I would say. Now, I get it. Again, I know. I can read your mind. It's preseason. But yes, they still look good. Now, after the first string sat down, we kind of it started to look like preseason football. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I didn't watch the game in full. My wife actually woke me up because the game was going on. I was asleep. But hey, I watched most of it, all right? So another thing that I noticed is that the often talked about right side of the line, you know what we've been talking about on Twitter and social media, Reddit, wherever you go, about how is that right side going to go. We know Latham and Skoronski and Cushenberry, that left side, you know, Latham and Skoronski, kind of have their thing. They're going to be there. That's what they're going to be. But, you know, this right side was the one that was in question. But I will say this, from all the reports that I saw, from all the beat writers and people that review the game and look at it, it looked pretty decent. Now, it was a concern, if you haven't noticed, that last week, Sadiq Charles, who we picked up in free agency, I believe, he retired out of the blue. So we had to shuffle the lineup again. NPF was coming back off a knee cleanup procedure, things like that. So he's really just now getting back in the groove. So with Charles retiring abruptly, we had to shuffle the line again. So we pushed up, I think, Dylan Radunz pushed up. So, you know, again, they did some good things. They held together for most of the part. You know, I think the more and more they get together and they gel, the offensive line will be better. So I know Bill Callahan has probably got a whole cut-ups for them to look at, things like that. They look decent, not great. I would teeter on the side of good. They were pretty good. I mean, we only gave up 1 sack, and that was on Malik later on in the game, and the first stringers were out. So, you know, they did some good things. All right. So again, like I said, once that first stringer sat down, then we got a lot of preseason football. Mason Rudolph got like the next steps, and I just want to be honest with you. It looked really meh. It wasn't anything, you know, not that I'm expecting a whole lot of fireworks from the second string, but, you know, a quarterback with a lot of experience as a starter in the league, I'm expecting to see like crisp passes, you know, on target passes, you know, driving down the field. Like I feel like Mason Rudolph should have been demonstrably taking the Titans down the field against these second and possibly third stringers. And we just didn't see that. We saw a couple of overthrows. I mean, he hooked up with Mason Kinsey a lot, but, you know, it wasn't anything to be hyped about. Now, when Malik got the ball, I mean, the bar was already low. He may have went over the bar just a little bit. It looks like all the coaching he's done he has improved. He had arguably one of the best throws of the whole entire game for both sides. He had a nice little dime that he dropped into Bryce Oliver, who's like an undrafted wide receiver fighting for room in that ever-growing wide receiver room. But it got overturned by a penalty. I think it was a legal formation. Now, I just said that to say this. We didn't have a lot of penalties, which is a good thing. So, hey, you know, team is working. So, and then he had a really big run, I think it's like, I don't know, 28 yards or something like that. I mean, he led the team in rushing. If that leads you to tell you anything, he led the team in rushing. He had like a long scamper on the keeper. So it was pretty good. We'll talk about this in a minute, but I think the next game against the Seahawks, we're going to see extended time for both of them. So, you know, we'll see a little bit more because Callie is saying that when we have these joint practices that are coming up with the Seahawks this week, the ones are going to get probably more of those reps against the Seahawks players. So, you know, the 2s and 3s will see more action in that game. But Yeah, that's what I saw for the offense. So before we go to the defense, if you're liking what you see, go ahead and smash the like button, man, and hit the subscribe button so you can join the section and you'll be notified for all the videos that we got coming out. All right, cool. Now the defense, obviously missing the key players, and I think what everybody was really wanting to see is how T'Vondre Sweat was going to look. You could tell that the nerves were kind of a big factor, but it's obvious that the talent is there. I think he played about 12 snaps because the defense wasn't on the field that much. Now, Allen was kind of chewing him up for a while, so I don't know if it was just Denard being nervous or he's not really showing a thing, but they drove down the field on us the first time, so the defense wasn't a big star, and I don't think, Sweat did a lot, but you could tell just if you focus in on Sweat that he's definitely got the talent. I mean, obviously there's way more improvements that he's gonna be, but he's a rookie, so we expect that. But it was good to see him get some burn. Now, what I will say that is once these games start to count, and once we have the full complement of defensive players out there, he's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem. I tweeted during the game that Big Jeff is salivating against the possibility of playing beside Sweat because in this game, I think he played 12 snaps and he was double teamed 5 times. A rookie, defensive tackle, nose, whatever you're gonna put him in, double teamed 5 times? All right, so that's a little bit under 50%, but still, when Big Jeff get out there and Landry's on one end and Aaron Key is on the other end and a whole bunch of things start popping off, we got Snead in the back, we got, linebackers coming down here, he's gonna be a problem, man. He is going to allow Jeff to do so many things. All right, so yeah, definitely want to see him improve, but it was good to see him get some burn. Jarvis Brownlee, he looks the part. I would not be surprised. I know there's an unofficial depth chart coming out, but I wouldn't be surprised that if Brownlee is getting, may get way more reps and move up that ladder to be one of those cornerbacks in there. So I definitely think in the absence of Awuzie, Cheeto not being here, he is definitely getting those reps and he's making them count. So he is definitely going to be a factor in the defense for look. And Williams, the safety converted to linebacker, looked good. And then obviously others look good, things like that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Saturday night was the Chance Campbell game. Do you hear me? Look, now I think Luke Gifford was I think he's either the second linebacker. So I think he was on the opening kickoff. He got a concussion. He had a big hit, but got a concussion, so it put him out of the game. So that moved Chance up to getting a lot of snaps. And man, let me tell you something. When somebody say he sees the opportunity, that man did not disappoint. Do you hear me? He was playing like this was a playoff game, all right? Or the game actually counted. I think the man had 8 tackles. He had a sack. And he had the game-sealing interception on a Hail Mary. You want him to bat it down, but he snagged that thing out of there. Let me tell you something. If anybody made their stock go up during a preseason game, it was Chance Campbell. The man was all over the place. All over the place, bro. All right? Let me tell you something. Chance Campbell did his thing in that game. That's what you want to see from a player that's saying, hey, I'm looking to fight for a spot. Chance Campbell. Hey, man, from the SEC, man. So you know the SEC do it better. My Vols, side note, my Vols ranked 15 in the AP poll. Rocky Top. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to alienate anything, but Rocky Top. All right, so last thing before I go, before we wrap this thing up, I was tweeting through the game. So if you're not following me on Twitter, you better be following me. Bonafide Bro on X. Follow me because I be live tweeting the games. I might be doing a little bit more things during the game this season. I don't know, maybe live streaming game. You can watch the game with me and we can react and interact, but who knows? But I was tweeting during this game. I got to get my reps in. Got to get my reps in to get the thumbs warmed up, get the fingers warmed up, get the wild hot takes ready to go. It's preseason for me too, baby. So what I was doing is that, we don't know who the 53-man roster is going to be, but I was trying to guess based off of their performance, just making random observations of who has secured their locker in this game. Now, I'm gonna just right now, the locker has been secured for Kearis Jackson, Jaquan Jackson, and Otis Reeves. Now, this could change, but look, they looking at moving in this season, all right? Chance Campbell, I already talked about him. The man, Chance, the green dot, they done super glued that onto it. It's not a sticker. It's super glue. They super glued the green dot on the back of Chance Campbell's helmet. That's how good he played that game. Somebody that you probably don't even know, David Martin Robinson is I think he was an undrafted free agent from Temple, but his St. Thomas Sports Park parking pass, it got renewed for another month because that brother was balling. He was catching everything, all right? And on the downside, Trey Avery. Now, I talked about Trey Avery in that other video where we talked about 5 people that really need to have a good camp, and Trey Avery's Fire tablet, yeah, he don't even get the iPad. He's not getting a Microsoft service. He's getting the Amazon Fire tablet. And that bad boy is in danger of being retrieved. I mean, that man was getting cooked all game, all right? So, yeah. So those are ones either secure the lock or whatever, but yeah, the only one that really had a down night in my eyes is like Trey Avery. He is definitely checking to see if his key card still works today. All right, so this week, wrapping it up, this week we got joint practices with the Seahawks leading up to the game on Saturday, so we definitely gonna be able to get a little bit more information about some of these position battles that are going on. Like I said earlier, Callie said that we should see the ones get way more reps during these sessions, and the 2 and 3s may get a majority of the reps on the game on Saturday. So we should really be able to flush out who is where in the pecking order when it comes there. So obviously we're going to talk about that game coming up too, but we got more videos coming up. The TNT video, I want to talk about the offensive backfield. As soon as we get closer to the season, we're going to be dropping a lot more content when it comes up to that. So definitely want you to be locked into the channel, the section with us. So make sure you like, comment, share this with your fellow Titans fan. Don't forget, we got the 1K giveaway. We're at last time I checked, we're at 718 subscribers. So we're less than 300 subscribers away from 1,000. Once we hit that $1,000 mark, we're gonna be giving away, selecting a lucky subscriber to win that jersey. So you definitely wanna be involved in it. Don't forget, here in the next week or so, we're almost finished with the Section 240 website. So we're gonna be doing that up. We got some merch. I think you're gonna love it. I've already gotten good feedback from other Titans fans. So once we drop that, I'll be sure to make the link, give a link to everybody. So yeah, we back, baby. Football is here, and I am so glad. So remember to lock in with us, and remember that there is plenty of room in the section for us all. Tighten up.